Michelle.
And I'm Steph. Welcome back to our channel. Today we have a fun video for you. One of our viewer favorites is this DIY board and batten wall behind us, and we get so many questions on this all the time. So we thought we would do a whole video on answering all of the questions we get. So our most frequently asked question by far is, what kind of wood did we use to do this wall? As it is a DIY board and batten wall, we made our own battens. So what we used is a 1/2 inch piece of MDF. This was originally 4 feet wide by 8 feet tall. So it was this huge piece of wood. We do have a table saw at home that we have ripped them down to size before, so you can definitely do that. But we like to just utilize the big saw right there at Home Depot, and they can cut them down for you. So we had them cut into 4-inch wide strips, and then again it's 1/2 inch thick, and they will be 8 feet in length.
Another option you can use is these boards that are pre-primed that you can find at the home improvement store. This one here is 2.5 inches. So just depending on how thick you want that batten to be, you can get them 3.5 or the 2.5 inch wide. And this is 11/16. 11/16 is the depth of this. And if you were to use this, you would put these as your vertical battens, and then your horizontal boards, you would get the size that is a little bit less thick. And I believe it's around 3/8 of an inch. And so then, because this has a nice rounded edge, when those butt up, you don't have a gap. And so that works great for a board and batten wall, and it's easier because it's pre-primed, sanded, ready to go.
Yeah, and you can find them at the local home improvement stores, like she said, and it's usually called like the common
board,
MDF
board. But if you want to save a little money, you can do it Steph's way.
Yeah, and so if you do this option, it is obviously not rounded on the edge like this, so there are a couple of differences. You could definitely just smooth it with sanding it. I would for sure recommend sanding the edges though, because just from having it cut, it's not, you know, it's a little bit rough. So make sure to sand the edges before installing. If you're interested in watching the full tutorial on how we installed this board and batten wall, tap this link above. It's only like a 4-minute video anyway, so super quick, but also very informative. So what is board and batten anyway? Like, you may even be wondering that, like, because we just know of it as it's these beautiful accent walls, and you can make them any size, shapes, pattern, anything you want. But she's going to tell you a little bit of what is a batten.
The batten. Okay, so usually, or generally speaking, it was used as outside siding for a barn, a home, or whatever. And so you would have boards, wider boards going around the home, and then you would take the batten, which would be this piece that would go over the seam of 2 boards.
Yeah.
So this would cover the 2 boards, and so this would be the batten covering the boards. But as time has progressed and we are using them as accent walls in the homes, we call it a board and batten wall, although it's really not true.
It's just
board and batten.
It's a fancy board wall.
It is, and it's just a beautiful paneled, detailed wall that we absolutely love.
Yeah. Next, we get asked all the time, what supplies do you need to make this wall happen? So the very first thing we like to do is to create the design of the wall itself. This is really easy to do just with graph paper and a pencil. You can see ours here. I just colored them orange so that you can see where the actual batten pieces would be and give you an idea of spacing and how far apart the design is. Just give you a good overall idea of the look, and that will help you with installation. Now, whether you're doing your batten pieces with the MDF wood like we chose to do, or you're going to use those prefabricated molding pieces, you are going to need some sort of saw to cut your width and the length just precise, right? And we like to use a speed square as well. This is just really helpful to get a nice straight line, and you know exactly where your cut needs to be.
You'll also want to use a level to make sure that your vertical boards are plumb, and smaller level if you're going to do them across to make sure that
small
they're
and
level.
large. But
so you want to grab a level for sure. You don't want your wall a little bit wonky and crooked. You're also going to need some adhesive, construction adhesive of some sort, you're not going to find studs behind every board.
Right.
And so you're going to have to attach it to the wall with glue. And so you'll want some construction adhesive, and then we also just used a brad nailer, some brads to just secure it while the glue dries.
Yeah, and that's actually one of our next top questions is how do you attach it to the wall? People ask, did we nail it into each of the studs? And the answer is no. So we did use 2-inch length brads in case we were to get it into a stud, but more often than not, your design is how you want it to be. You
Right.
don't know where the studs are going to be. So the glue is what's going to hold it. If you don't have access to a brad nailer, you can probably rent them from Home Depot, for
sure.
example. Or we have seen people just still use the adhesive and then use some
Tape.
frog tape, painter's tape to hold the board on the wall while the adhesive dries. But you might want to just make sure that it doesn't wiggle again. So
Yeah, you don't want them to slip or slide.
Yep.
You would be really unhappy if your pattern got out of whack.
So another question that we get is, why did I not paint the boards before installation? You can definitely do that beforehand. I just opted to do it afterward because our next supply here, you need to caulk. And yes, we get told we say this word wrong all the time.
Out
but
west.
that's how we say it.
Out west we say caulk,
So
caulk.
forgive us, but that's how we say it. But you're going to need to caulk in all of the seams where the board is put up, and you want to get paintable caulk, and then you're going to paint it afterward anyway, which is why I saved that for after this step.
But we did paint the wall first because otherwise we'd be painting in each little
Right.
square. But we can paint a whole wall super quick with a big roller as opposed to trying to paint in every single square. So that does save you some time.
And that actually was a question that we received too. Somebody was wondering what the black was on our wall before we installed the boards, and that was our paint. It's navy blue, it's dark, so it looked black. But they were wondering if we did it to cover up our textured walls, and no. We do have textured walls, and many of you have also asked that as well. Do you need to smooth them out first because you think it's going to look funny? But you can see here in the video that it looks just fine. So we, again, just painted the wall first. We have our textured walls and the design looks great.
One other supply that you will need is either some wood putty or some spackling to fill in the nail holes from the brads. And so you will need to do that and then lightly sand it afterwards.
We like this one first, the Drydex, because it goes on pink, and when it's dry it turns white.
And super
And
quick.
it's paintable without priming first, so we just like this one.
Right.
We did have a question if you can use the caulk to fill in the nail holes. No.
Caulk is meant to give
It's-
and stretch. Expands and contracts with humidity, the temperature, and it's meant to do that.
Also, I think if you were to just apply it with your finger or even a putty knife, it wouldn't fill in the hole as good as the putty would.
This
anyway,
works really
because it
good.
would kind of sink in.
Right.
So just use this. It's super cheap. It's
Yes,
easy to use.
and it lasts forever.
Yeah. We do also often get asked what the dimensions are of our wall. It's going to vary, because our wall is going to be different than yours, but just to kind of give you an idea, the distance between our batten boards is 32 inches.
As DIYers, we do things ourselves to save money. And one of the questions Steph gets asked a lot is, how in the world did we do this wall for $50? And so, how did you do it, Steph, for only $50?
I will say prices have gone up because of the pandemic. We all know that. But even doing the way we did is going to save you money. So to do this entire wall, we bought one piece of baseboard, which is secured to the very top at the ceiling. And all of the rest of the boards we cut are from one piece of MDF. And I think you can get them for about $35 right now. It's going to be different everywhere, but...
But you paid about $20 or $25,
Yeah.
I think. So,
And then it was the cost of paint and caulk, and
Yeah.
that's cheap. So we really literally got it done for under $50. But you can do it on the cheap.
I would say for sure less than $100, even with today's prices.
Yeah. Another great question we get asked is, does it get dirty? Yes, it does. But, I mean, it's not anything worse than dusting like you normally do. So
just take your duster and run it along the edge of the board. So it's not terrible. Just have to do it once in a while. All right, another common question is, what do you do when you want to take it off the wall?
You don't.
Hey, it's glued to the wall. Yeah. I mean, it can come off, but it's going to damage your wall.
Fix your wall.
And so you're going to have to putty it in. So, but it's a great classic look.
Yeah. Just a nice timeless craftsman style look. So I don't think it's going to go out ever because Craftsman's been around forever. So just be sure if you're going to do it that you're going to like it because, I mean, you can take it down, but it's going to be some work. We also get asked if you can do a board and batten wall on top of your existing molding without having to replace it.
Your base molding. And yes, you can. And if this is thicker than your base molding, we have done this before where we just do a little bit of an angle cut at the bottom of the molding so that it meets up with the thickness of the base at the bottom. So it would just be straight and then come in just a little bit to meet your molding, and it will still look great. Another one of the most popular questions is, what is this paint color?
Yeah. I tried several. I really did.
I'm finding a good navy is hard.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to be purple hues or, you know. So I finally came across this beautiful shade. It is by Benjamin Moore, and it is Hale Navy. And I am a paint snob, I'm not going to lie. And as a DIYer, I like the cheap, right? But I love using the Behr paint from Home Depot. So I have this color matched in the Behr paint to the Benjamin Moore Hale Navy. It works. So I get asked, why is my design not centered on the wall? So you'll notice from wall to wall, you know, my bed's over here, my artwork's over here, and for two reasons. One, this is like the main area of our room. This here is just a little entrance and the door is open most of the time. So that to me isn't, well, I mean it is, but we also wanted to have the bed centered in this usable space, the walking space, and so I wanted my bed centered on the design as well. So that is why it's more to this side, but as you can see when the door's open, it just feels like it was supposed to be that way anyway. Well, that wraps it up for our Q&A, but we did have one little thing we wanted to share with you. We did this board and batten wall for a client, and we incorporated a hidden door into the design for her walk-in closet. And it was just so much fun to be a part of this process, and we love the way it turned out. If you'd like more information on this board and batten wall, tap that link above and visit our post. Now, this reveal wouldn't be complete without our client's reaction. It is the best. Hope you enjoy.
Oh my goodness! Oh, how pretty! Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at the pictures. I love it all. I love every bit of it. And here's our little thing. Is that, no. And a clock. Oh. Are those beautiful? Oh my gosh. And this. Oh. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Isn't she the cutest? I just love her reaction. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and got many of your questions answered. If you have any more, please let us know. Ask them down below and we will be happy to respond to you. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our weekly videos. And as always, here at Sunnyside Design, we hope to bring your home to the sunny side of the street.